All right, well, this is awesome. This is really exciting to see all of you here with excitement for microfinance. The presentation that I have is really, it can be detailed, so I don't want to bore you guys. So I will try to move quickly through things, and if I'm going too fast, or if I'm speaking below you or above you, just shout out or something, tell me to slow down or shut up or something. I want it to be interactive and fun, and so if you have any questions, just ask. In terms of just, I'm curious to know a little bit about your backgrounds. I assume everyone is undergrads, or are there graduate students here too? Okay.
I'm a graduate student.
Okay. In terms of degrees, I mean, people are looking at econ. How many are econ majors? Business, poli-sci, or what are the ones that I'm missing? Probably, I always say a lot, but I mean, what are the What? It's pretty funny. So I just came from Duke, and it's so nice to be able to breathe again. I had to hold my breath over there. I went to Carolina undergrad and graduate school, so I'm very much at home here and in Gardner in several classes in this building. So yeah, I had to hold my breath over there for a while. I've only actually been there. I've been there once before in my life. It's really bizarre. And it's pretty funny over there. I had the USB drive and I had two presentations, one with Duke and one with Carolina presentation. I should have pulled up the Duke one because it's about just like stick figures and like trying to communicate basic concepts. This one's a lot more intelligent. So I'm just kidding. So anyhow, just a little bit about Microvest and microfinance. Before I guess I get into even that, I'll just give you a little introduction on me, just to give you context. I went to school here, as I mentioned, undergrad, graduate school. After coming out of the Keenan Flagler program, I followed a more traditional approach in my career for about 13 years. Started working for Anderson, working in M&A consulting, auditing, then M&A consulting, then started working in capital markets for Fleet Bank, later became B of A. Did the transactional work with them for several years, and then joined a technology company in Silicon Valley doing outsourced computer services that later the company was sold to Dell. And after working for 13 years in a sort of a traditional finance role, I found that I was very much unmotivated, and I found the whole experience, found each of the careers, I guess, regressively exciting, and couldn't figure out what was wrong. And I thought that it was something that was maybe the nature of the work that I was doing that was not a fit with me personally, and then came to find out that it was the context of the work. And so I say this because I know each of you in many years to come will be considering various paths, and as my friend JP who also went here always encouraged me to always choose the path with heart. And that path can be chosen now, or if you don't know what that path is, choose what pays the bills, and then you can always switch in the future. After 13 years, I was able to make a switch into doing phenomenal work in microfinance that is making an impact, that does pay the bills. And that can happen for you in whatever it is, be it microfinance or whatever that field is for you. So it's never too late to always follow the path with heart. For me, after Silicon Valley, I saved up money and just knew that I wanted to work in poverty alleviation. Had no idea what that meant. And I knew that I wanted to do it in South America because of some travels that I'd done in South America. And so I realized that I was going to do that. So I saved money, left it all, quit my job and family, all thought I was crazy, moved to South America for a year. I started off by an intense language program studying Spanish because I figured early on that if I'm going to eradicate poverty in Latin America, I probably should speak Spanish, so it helped to study that. And that is also part of one of the parts that I want to impart with you all, is that you don't have to know today how to speak Swahili or whatever. You can learn it, and you can make that change in your life now or later. It's never too late to live the rest of your life. So after returning from South America, I was fired up. I spent half the time studying Spanish, and the second half, I got introduced to a microfinance institution in Cochabamba, Bolivia, up in the Andes. And I worked with them for about 6 months, and I really came to see what microfinance was and got to feel the impact that microfinance is making on the working poor, and really came to see the alignment with me and my philosophy and theology, and not being a handout, but being a hand up, and being an instrument of respect and dignity. And so I came back at the end of 2006, fired up, and said, all right, I want to be in microfinance. Sure enough, it was the context of my work. I was not a fit before, and I started trying to pair my skills with what organizations were doing microfinance in the States. And I was living in DC at the time, and Microvest is based in DC. Literally, it's one of 4 groups in the States and only like 10 groups in the world. And they happened to be based in DC, and they were looking for someone in Latin America investments. And so I started working for them there about 2 years ago. Spent a year and a half working on the investment side, and I just sort of explained what that means. And then recently, about 6 months ago, moved over to the business development side, which is structuring new ways for capital to get from here to there. That's a little bit on me personally, my background. I guess before I even jump into sort of microfinance 101, I mean, I'm assuming that there's a pretty solid level of understanding of microfinance with generally nodding of heads. I mean, about what it's doing, what the concept of microloans to the working poor. The main concept, I guess I'll just touch on a couple, is that it's about wealth creation and not redistribution. It's about empowering people, and as I was mentioning before, it's a tool for inclusion, and it's a tool of respect and dignity. Some key characteristics that make microfinance really interesting in today's market with what's going on in the credit crisis and the subprime markets is that the micro-entrepreneur in their business is generally an uncorrelated activity to the rest of the world. It generally is, at its most basic level, a bicycle tire repair shop. It's a shoe cobbler. It's all of the things that you would have seen if you visited a developing country. It's the market that has all the stands that has either a person that's making blankets, or all of those little micro-entrepreneurial businesses that you see. It's financing these individuals, and those individuals are generally conducting a trade which has been passed down from their family. They're generally providing a service or product which is a core product or service to that community. It's a staple good. It's not a luxury good. It is generally provided to the informal sector, so it's not generally taxed. It's generally insulated from the wealthy. They generally have and keep very little inventory, so they can turn inventory quite frequently. They can change their business